Earlier today, we got news that Cee Dee Lamb will not be reporting to Cowboys training camp. And up to this point, the Cowboys have not signed Dak Prescott, not signed Cee Dee Lamb, not signed Micah Parsons. Their three most important players do not have contracts. Everyone's wondering what is going on with the Cowboys. What is their plan? Here is Nick Wright and Colin Cowherd earlier today on The Herd discussing this entire situation. Here's Nick Wright.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys from this point forward, slow decline, don't make the playoffs. Your thoughts?
Well, the don't make the playoffs, I saw you say this the other day. That, to me, it would not be a slow decline. That would be a very rapid decline. That, to me, is maybe a bridge too far for a team that has won 12 games, 3 consecutive seasons. But they obviously and undeniably have had a disastrous offseason. They have now painted themselves into this corner, Colin. Their three most important players, their quarterback, their best defensive player, and their best skill position player, all of them expect to become the highest paid ever at what they do. And that's not tenable. Dak is not going to sign a contract that is not the highest paid quarterback ever. Micah is not going to sign a contract that is not the highest paid defensive player ever. And because they waited so long with CD, he's not going to sign a contract that is not, forget highest paid wide receiver, that is not highest paid non-quarterback ever. And so once they sign CD, Micah's price actually goes up because he likely wants to be the highest paid non-quarterback ever. And them waiting on Dak, Dak sees what Trevor Lawrence got. He's about to see what Jordan Love's going to get. They have not handled this well at all. And to me, Colin, their only escape hatch is hoping and praying that a year from now, either Trey Lance is ready or they can reset the quarterback carousel price-wise by drafting a guy. It is not tenable to keep CD and Micah, who you must keep, and to keep Dak Prescott. I think they're going to have to choose, and it would appear, I shouldn't say it would appear, I think they're going to choose to keep the two non-quarterbacks and recoup that money there.
Yeah, so when it comes to the Cowboys potentially not keeping Dak Prescott, I honestly think that could be what the Cowboys are planning to do. Let Dak play out the 2024 season, then decide what they want to do. And Nick Wright says here, makes a good point, that because these guys all want to be paid at the top of the market in their prospective positions, it's going to be very, very difficult to make that happen. And if you guys have been watching my channel for a little while, the fact that the Cowboys haven't paid Dak Prescott up to this point looks like they haven't really even had many talks when it comes to contract negotiations for Dak Prescott. I really do feel like the Cowboys are willing to reset everything, and by not paying Dak before this season, they're not getting stuck to Dak for the long haul. And while Dak is a very good quarterback, he has not been good in the playoffs. We have consistently seen him struggle in the playoffs, not play as good in the playoffs as he does in the regular season. And honestly, at some point, you have to ask yourself, when things go south time and time again, and the common theme is your quarterback, at some point it's like, okay, you probably need to switch things up. Yes, there's a risk because Dak does get you to regular season success. But at some point, when you are not making any headway in the playoffs, I do think it could be smart to reset yourself at the quarterback position, not have to pay $60 million per year, because if you're already, paying Dak and he hasn't gotten you there, why do you want to give him, around $300 million if he were to sign some kind of 5-year deal? Because then you're stuck for years and years. Imagine if the Cowboys were to give Dak $60 million per year and the Cowboys have their regular season success and then go out in round one. Do you really think that, the Cowboys will feel comfortable sitting there going, wow, I can't believe we gave Dak $60 million per year. We have to go through this for the next few seasons because we just gave him a boatload of money. I really think the Cowboys want to hold off on making this crucial decision, this big decision with so much money on the line, because if the same thing happens again, they can move on. I'm pretty sure they have like a $40 million dead cap hit for Dak in 2025. But if things go south again, you just move on from Dak Prescott. You don't have to pay him $60 million per year, and you try to find another answer at the quarterback position. So I agree there with Nick Wright. I do think that the Cowboys aren't going to keep. If I had to guess, I would say they're probably going to wait till the end of the season, see how it goes. If he has a great season, okay, then you pay him, because at that point you'll have to pay him more money because the Tua deal, Jordan Love deal have probably gone through, but you don't, get stuck holding the bag with Dak as your quarterback and having, another failure in the playoffs. And so I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. And when it comes to Cee Dee Lamb not reporting to training camp, I think that Cee Dee Lamb, very crucial to this Cowboys offense. If he is not there, if he wasn't playing, then this offense is going to really struggle, because, Cee Dee carried this Cowboys offense, had 1,700 yards last season. I was even wondering, I think everyone's confused as to what the Cowboys are doing, barely paying anyone this offseason, not getting anything done with Lamb, Prescott, or Micah Parsons. Maybe the Cowboys want to reset everything. It sounds like they're paying Cee Dee a priority. We'll see if that happens. But if they don't give him a deal before the season starts, and they just let him play out 2024, which we'll see if he'll play. He has to play a little bit to accrue a full season. What if they're willing to tag and trade Cee Dee Lamb and draft a receiver in round 1 next year, and maybe not get quite the player of Cee Dee, but instead you don't have to pay a guy, $30+ million. That's a possibility. I think it's a very low possibility. I think it would be unwise for the Cowboys to let Cee Dee Lamb go, especially if they were thinking of moving to a different quarterback. You don't want to leave that QB without, you want to give that quarterback a guy like Cee Dee Lamb, because that gives him that much more of a chance of success. So honestly, I do wonder what the Cowboys are doing. It's sort of confusing right now, because you'd think they would at least get one of these guys signed by now, early training camp. But we'll have a lot more answers in the next month as things progress, and maybe we'll get a clearer idea as to what the Cowboys' plan actually is. But right now, it's pretty confusing. I do think that the Cowboys, as Nick said there, Colin saying that he thinks the Cowboys could not even make the playoffs. I think their defense is still too good, and Dak Prescott is too good for them to completely miss the playoffs. It's a possibility. I just think that they do have a lot of talent. I don't think they're going to be as good as last year, but I think they still could win 9-10 games and make the playoffs. But we'll have to keep an eye on all that. But that is all for this video. You want more NFL content, feel free to subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time.